Hi everybody, it's Paula here from Craftables. I'm just coming to show you our scrapbook layout for this week. This is a travel page. I know that we can't travel a whole lot at the moment, but we can travel around little old New Zealand still, so I thought we'd still do a travel page. So this one, I've got a 4x6 photo here as your main photo, and then these ones are 2 by like 1.5 or something, so you would need photos there that you can cut down to size, or print them out as small as you can and then cut them down. So you can get 6 photos on here, which is a great way of displaying your travel stuff. And then there's a little space here for some journaling if you want to, or even down the bottom here as well. Alright, so let's get on to it. Alright, so I have a 12 by 12 piece of paper here. Now I have stamped these chevrons on here earlier. So the papers I'm using are, let me see, the Craft Explorer papers. So this is one of the Explorer papers, but I've just stamped these little chevrons on, and if you buy the kit, those will already be on there. If you are trying to do this at home with different papers, then I would just suggest whatever stamps you have at home would be great. Alright, so we're going to start off, and I'm going to turn it sideways. So this is the bottom of my paper and this is the top, and I'm going to cut it down the centre there. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in. Sorry, just a moment. And I'm going to turn my paper so that the top is on the left and the bottom is on the right, and I'm going to trim it at 7.5 inches. So bring it right up to 7.5 inches there, and just cut right down that side there. So now we've got 2 halves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some corrugated card in the middle and some of the frames that I've got off the other papers as well. So one of the papers for the Explorer collection has a whole lot of bits and pieces on it. Like we've got some tickets, and we've got a couple of these strips here, a photo strip. These came off the page as well, all those sort of things. So this is one of the papers from the Explorer papers. So I've just cut them up. So first of all, I'm going to just rip down one side here. So I'm just going to rip all the way down the long side of my corrugated card. So I think this piece is about a metre and a half. No, about 1.5 inches long. Wide. I'll get myself together in a minute. So I'm just ripping all the way down there. Now this piece here is going to go onto my layout. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of tape along the top here, and I'm going to put that in between the 2 pieces that I've cut out before. So just a strip of tape along there. You can use glue for this, but that's fine. I just prefer the tape so that if I make a mistake, I can move it on and off as I need to. Okay. Alright, so this piece here I'm going to layer on top. No, sorry, I'm going to pop that one underneath there. So I'm going to put a bit of strip of tape along there. I'm really not getting myself into gear today, so I do apologise. I will get my head around it. Alright, so there we have the tape on the back of this piece now, and I'm going to put the corrugated card underneath this piece. So I'm going to line it up along there so there's a little bit showing. Now I've stuck that down to my table. So the piece of tape I put on the back there earlier is now going to go on this piece. So I'm going to pop it down this way here. But when I'm doing this, I want to make sure that my layout is still 12 inches long this way. So if you have a ruler, go ahead and measure that up. I'm just going to eyeball it for the sake of the video, but I can move that off a bit later if I need to. Alright, so what we've done is we've got the corrugated card underneath that top layer of paper, and then the second paper layer is underneath the corrugated card. And do make sure that the side of it now is still 12 by 12 inches. Alright, so now we've got that done, we can move on to doing our little pennants now. So I've cut out 6 of these little pennants here. So these are 2.5 by 3. So the 2.5 at the top and the 3 down the bottom there. And then I've just cut a little fishtail out of the bottom of each of them. So what I did was I just measured the middle there and up the side, and I just put them all together, and I just cut one lot out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these over the top of each other so they're slightly overlapping like that. So I've just already put some tape on the back, and I'm just going to overlap them a little bit. There we are. So I'm going to do the same with this one. So I'm just alternating the papers as well. So we go to this one next. So I'm just going to overlap that the same amount as I did the last time. So about 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch. There we go. So I'm just going to do, no, that's still not straight. Let's try that one again. This is why I use tape, so that I can reposition if I need to, which happens more often than you'd think. There we go. So just take the backing off those again, and I'm going to start with my blue one back again. There we go. And then I'm going to do my dot one again. There we go. And my last one is going to be my brown map paper, oh no, postage paper, sorry. So I've got a bit of the postage paper here, and I'm just going to stick that over the top like that as well. So now I've got all my pennants in a row there, and then I'm just going to pop them onto my layout. So I'm just going to pop them underneath a little bit of my corrugated card there. So I'm just going to pop some tape on the back there. Like that. Okay, so that one is just going to go, just pop up underneath there a little bit like that. There we go. Alright, so those are down. So my next part I'm going to do is this bit here. So this is a piece that I have cut off that Explorer paper. Now, what you can do is you can cut these pieces out and put your photos behind if you want. If they're a little bit bigger than these little strips here, then I would cut that out in the middle and I would put them on the back. If you're going to cut them down to the exact right size, you don't need to cut those middle pieces out. So just for the sake of the video, I'm not going to cut them out, and I'm just going to put this right down on the left hand side of my card, of my layout. I'm just really all over the place today. Alright, so that one's going to go there. So then I've also cut out these couple of strips that were on the same paper, and I'm just going to layer these on top of each other like this. So I'm going to put the map paper underneath the stripe paper, and then they're going to go over the top of my corrugated card and my film strip there. So I'm just going to go and take the tape off. I'm going to pop this one down first. So I'm just sort of covering over this piece of my card paper from earlier, and then I'm going to put my stripe one over the top of this, but I'm going to pull it up a little bit so you can see a bit of that map paper under there as well. Okay, cool. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop your photos on there. So I have not put a photo in this one here. I'll just bring in my layout. Just because I wanted to cover this bit up and give it a bit of extra sort of things to look at there. So I've just put 1, 2 in the bottom here and 3 up the top, and then I've covered this middle one. So to do that, I've just cut out a few of these pieces, these little ticket pieces that were on that paper as well. And I'm just going to sort of get them up the right way first. I'm going to layer them on there with some tape, and I'm just going to overlap them sort of a bit randomly, so like that. But you would need to put your photo on this one at least first before you put these down. Okay, and the last one I'm just going to pop down here like that. Alright, so that covers up that bit there. So now we're going to get on to doing our photo. So I have cut out a photo mat, and it's just a plain white piece. So this measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and I'm just going to put that right in the middle there. But before I do that, I've cut out these 2 film strips from the same paper as all these bits have come from. I've cut it in half, so I've gone ahead and cut that in half. Now it's not going to quite fit all the way down to the bottom of my photo mat there, but that's okay because we're going to cover that over with a word. So I'm just going to pop that on the back of this for now. So I'm going to make sure it lines up at the top of my film strip there. I'm not too worried about the bottom part because I am going to cover that over. Okay, so I'm just going to try and make this even on both sides there. Here we go. So this photo mat is going to go down along there now. Oops, and the last one at the bottom there. Alright, so I'm going to just lay that in the middle there and just pop it down. Alright, so to cover these pieces up here, I'm just going to pop on some words that a word I've got here. Now this one is, you get a whole sheet of these little words that you can cut out. So some of them say wanderer, some of them say travel. So a whole sheet of paper with these little things on. So I've cut the wanderer word out, but I have left a little bit of a black border around the outsides just so that it gives it a bit more prominence off the page. So I'm just going to cover over these bits that didn't quite line up at the bottom there, and I'm just going to do that just randomly on the bottom of my photo. So I am actually going to, I'm not doing them straight, I am going to do them a bit wonky just so that it gives it a bit of character to it, and also sometimes doing something straight is a bit harder than we always think. So I'm just going to glue that on there. So I've done that now, so I'm just for the sake of the video, I'm not going to bother gluing that on there for now, but that's what I would do for that. And then I just have another, there's a strip of sayings on that paper as well, and I've just cut out one of them, and I'm just going to pop that down there like that. So that's the page, pretty quick and easy really, and it gives you at least 6 photos on there. You could do another one in this middle one if you wanted to. I just didn't have enough photos for that particular trip, so I've just put in 5 little ones and a large one there. So don't forget to do your journaling down there, and if you do give this a try, we would love to see it up on our Craft Communities Facebook page, where we love to see what you guys do. So thanks for joining me again this week, and next week we'll have another layout for you. Thank you. Bye.